Hello, everybody. This is Enru, and today I have another message for you. So, if you happen to live in Florida, I highly recommend you stay for this message. Now, Florida is expanding at a rate that is impeccable. And in the next 5 to 10 years, you're going to see significant changes to Florida. It is booming with construction and development and new people coming in from all over the country. Now, I have a couple of points that I want to make, and I also have two perspectives I want to come by with this message. So, first, we're going to talk about the business perspective. And then I'm going to go into the biological perspective of this whole thing. So I'll start off by saying I got a proper got a property a couple years ago, and it's it's in the sticks, or was in the sticks. And because Orlando is expanding so much out into all of the more secluded areas and rural areas, things have just been exploding. Just in this past year and a half, I have seen so many things pop up. And I lived or owned a property in an area where it took me like almost 30 minutes to go to a Starbucks. And now there's a Starbucks essentially around the corner. So I got raw land. I, you know, formed it in my own image. And then the area just started exploding, and then more and more people starting to go in, and the construction of all the houses being built everywhere, and just everything that I thought I was getting into, it has completely changed. And it's almost like they're going to be like kind of making it more city like, and which is fine. But I've also noticed just a pattern and change of so many different things. And if you are from Florida and you have the ability to get in on some rural land right now, I highly, highly recommend it, because once the development just gets to a tipping point, it's just going to explode. And rural pieces of property are going to raise in their value, and things are just going to get more expensive when it comes to renting. So I highly recommend that going the ownership route, finding rural land, is a really good thing, investment to make right now. Um, whether I just having a property and getting a piece of the pie from a business perspective is a great idea. And there's just so much going on. Like Orlando, if you ever saw the planning, this I guess the city planning for Orlando, it's supposedly supposed to end up being this ginormous big thing, like that looks like it's from another planet. Like it doesn't look like Orlando at all, their plans for the development on that city. Um, and so I think it's really important that we start, if we plan on living in Florida for the rest of our lives, or at least having property here, that we make a concerted effort to find property. Now, if you have you can afford to go and get yourself a whole house and all that and a mortgage and all that, that great, great. Go for it. I went a different route and I got lucky and I found a property for really cheap and paid cash for it. And so I just owned it. So I thankfully I didn't have to have a mortgage with that, because it was raw land, right? But I developed it and turned it into what I wanted it to be. And then, you know, seeing as like if I want to sell it in the future, next 5 years or so, then I feel like I'll be in a pretty good place. So and even if I don't want to sell it, which is something I'm not sure that I want to do, but even if I don't sell it, I have something that I got for a really low price and it has accumulated in its value. And so the thing is that really the main point that I was trying to bring into this conversation was the rents are going up so high. It's astronomical. An average home just to rent is like $2,000 a month, and it's just absolutely insane. And it's getting even higher. And, you know, this is why ownership, I think, is so important, whether it's something small or something big, depending on what your budget is. Having ownership of something, having, command over something is a really good way to invest your money and your time as things get more and more expensive if you're planning on staying in Florida. Now, I feel like a lot of people are going to end up moving out of Florida just because it's just getting so expensive. But we'll see how things go. If they don't raise the prices of work, of what it is to have a salary or an income from your job, then I feel like a lot of people are going to move out of Florida. But and I thought maybe it can balance out with all the fluctuation of people coming in and going out. Then maybe it'll just balance itself out. But then for the smaller, lower end jobs, there won't be a lot of people to work those jobs, or there won't be enough skilled people to work those jobs. And then you have that explosion of just robotics and AI doing all of the service jobs and things like that. So I don't know. A lot can change in 5 to 10 years, as we all know. And I uh, I think we all need to be prepared by making plans now before things get out of hand. Now, even so, though, um, the population density is getting to a point where resources are kind of becoming a little bit more scarce in some areas. And if you like, just for example, coffee, getting some Folgers coffee or something like that is like almost $20 for a whole canister of coffee. It's crazy. So I think there is some kind of imbalance happening on Florida in Florida, but we'll wait and see. There's just I don't know. It's like almost like a bubble growing, and I'm not sure if it'll burst or if something else will happen because we do have a lot of construction happening. I do wonder if they'll be able to sell out on all of it. There's a lot of these new homes being built. And I guess it's just like a lot of out of state. I guess if a lot of people out of state buy them, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. But I feel like there's like a bubble happening, right? But anyways, I'm moving into more of the biological uh perspective of this point. with that, with all of the booming construction and the expansion of the human population in Florida, there's been uh, a shift in the animal population, and the amount of roadkill has gone up extreme, so bad that I saw an alligator like on the side of the road, like a big alligator, a real live, real dead alligator. And I think if anyone that deals with the expansion of Florida is listening, that there needs to be something to offset the imbalance that's happening within nature and the reserve of nature. Um, the imbalance of nature can create a very unhealthy thing going on. And I also want us, I know it's like, oh, who cares about the animals? But it's like, it's not just about nature. It's not just about the animals. It's just about how nature if it gets imbalanced, it changes our atmosphere, it changes our environment, it changes a lot of things, it changes the temperature, whether we believe so or not. And, you know, with this expansion, we've even seen huge changes in the Everglades and its patterns and the way things are. And while, yes, things are always changing and evolving, the change that's happening is something that is a little bit it's man-made, of course, and it's very fast. And when things happen too quickly, bigger things fall down, the dominoes fall down and create a bigger thing that we didn't see or we didn't really uh think would happen. And I just feel like we need to protect the environment as much as we can, conserve the environment as much as we can, and make it a haven for animals. Now, with that being said, I see a lot of animals being more friendly and being more like cool with humans and like just like take it, and because it's a survival mechanism because they're trying to get food and they see that humans have food resources. And so even like the raccoons that come by, they are very, I don't know, they seem a little docile. And not that they should be violent, but it's just there's just a uptick in animal stuff, and I just want to make sure that we protect the ecosystem as much as we can, because we're in it too and we enjoy the ecosystem and the environment and the energy and the biological surroundings that we have. We enjoy that, that's why people come to Florida, but we don't want to also destroy it and make it, something that turns into I don't know, something nasty, and yeah, I just want to leave us with that. um while yes, business perspective wise, getting some land is a great idea, I also want to be cognizant of the animals and being very careful when we're driving on the road not to run them over, because there is an uptick in animals not knowing where they are because of so much construction and getting hit by cars constantly. Like, it's just so many animals I see on the side of the road now. And I just want us to be cognizant and careful when we're driving, okay? Because of this expansion, there is going to be a lot more confusion in the animal kingdom, and they're not going to know what's what. And we need to be, instead of saying you stupid animal in the middle of the road, just be aware of animals crossing and making sure that we're cognizant and try to be as symbiotic as possible with them, because they don't understand our way of life and they don't understand certain things. And, when their environment is destroyed and they have to take a new path somewhere, we have to be, good stewards of them and understand that they need us to protect them and keep their life together too sometimes. Okay, so just be cognizant. And I say this because I feel really bad. I got one the other day. I got an armadillo, and i I felt like shit. I felt like shit about it. And I just want us to know that, we're disrupting living, breathing, sentient things, their environment, their home. And if we can just be, you know, somewhat cognizant of what's what. So yes, this is En route. If you watch this video, thank you very much. And I hope you guys have a great winter, December. I'm not sure if I'll be uploading very much. But if I don't make a video by Christmas, Merry Christmas. And you all have a good one.